Coveters, hope you're all doing well. My name is Chelsea and I work on the Covet fashion team. As many of you know, we love introducing new brands in-game as much as possible. And today's guest is not only the designer of a new Covet brand, Raleigh, but also one of our Threading Change Grant recipients. So please give a warm welcome to Elle.
Woohoo!
Yes, she's not only a positive force in the fashion industry, but a sustainable queen, and we are so excited for you all to get to know her and her brand a little bit more here today. So thank you, Elle, so much for making it and talking with us. We're so excited to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm great. This is exciting. I'm so glad to see you right now, and it's super sunny right now in California, and it's just so beautiful to have you today. So I am doing marvelous today.
That's exactly what I want to hear. That's exactly. For many of our Coveters, you know, they're not too familiar with you or your brand. Do you mind telling us a little bit more of your backstory and how ELLERALI came to be?
Yes, of course. So ELLERALI is a streetwear brand with a mission to recreate the created by upcycling fabric to reduce textile waste. My background is actually in marine biology. For the past 10 years, which is crazy to think about now, I have been working with marine mammals in conservation and education. And it's been such a blessing of a career to be able to be in the ocean, to learn about, you know, the environment in so many different ways. And it's just an amazing career to be part of. But there was a time when I first started that I started realizing that when I was talking to people about what I was doing, how unaware people were about the effects that we were doing every day and how that was affecting the environment. I was in shock. And so what happened was my mom used to sew when we were younger. And so she got me a sewing machine. I was in Hawaii at this time. This was about a couple years ago now. She got me a sewing machine and I learned how to sew, and I fell in love with recreating items from curtains and placemats and bed sheets. And it was just amazing to be able to look into your house and say, like, I have all these things, like, why not repurpose what we already have? And then from there, I remember creating my first pair of pants from these bed sheets. And I was walking around in Hawaii on the Big Island, and someone came up to me and they're like, oh my God, I love your pants. Like, where did you get them? And I was like, oh, I made them. And then something came up to me and I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I can do this as my next career. And I remember that moment in time where I was hanging out with my coworkers and I was, you know, saying like, guys, my next career is going to be an upcycled designer. And 5 years later, you know, here I am. And it became this funny thing where, like, I started when I moved back to LA. And at that time I moved back to LA, it was because, you know, certain circumstances happened in my family. My mom got really sick, and it came to the point where, like, I needed to come home and help care for her. And unfortunately, marine biology didn't really give me that flexibility to work from home. And so I started hoarding other people's clothes. Like, it was this weird thing when people knew what I was doing, and then they're like, I have all these t-shirts, do you want it? And I started collecting these really dope, like, t-shirts of, like, amazing designs, and it, like, hurt my feelings to be like, wow, these designs are not going to be able to show face again. Like, what can I do to recreate it? And then that's when the fly dress came about, and I wanted to create something that was zero waste, reversible, had pockets, that was comfortable, dress it up, dress it down. And I remember at that moment, people were like, just choose one thing, girl. You're either eco-friendly, you're eco-reversible. Like, you don't gotta do all those things. And I was like, why not?
Yeah.
Why can't I? And that's when the fly dress happened, and then this is kind of how ELLERALI has been since then. It's been just kind of me building from something that I truly value, being able to give back to the environment in some way, but also look dope and fresh and innovative, and something that I wasn't seeing when I first started. So that's pretty much me, marine biologist turned into an eco-fashion designer.
That's amazing. I mean, I think that's one of the things that's so incredible about your story, because for me, it's like, obviously you took a passion that was outside of the fashion industry and then made it into something that made sense for you and what you're passionate about. And it wasn't like, oh, I see this opportunity and I'm going to fit myself into this other box. You were like, no, I'm going to create my own box and I'm going to do this my way on my terms, what makes me happy. I think for me, like coming from obviously a different background, like was fashion something that you were interested in or that you loved, or was it really just kind of this evolution of different passions coming together?
I feel like life is this thing where it's constantly talking to you and it's kind of bringing you to where you're supposed to be in your path. And until you recognize it, you're like, what the heck? That's weird. So when I was younger, like I said, my mom used to sew a lot and I would always take clothes and kind of recreate it, but I never knew how to sew. I would just take a needle and thread and make things work. And so I was always definitely creative in that way. And I remember probably when I was like in high school or something, I was like sketching like fanny packs at that time. I was like, I'm going to make fanny packs look super cool again. And I remember thinking already about, you know, building a brand with my mom and kind of rebuilding her friendship. And so I want to find these sketches because at that moment, I felt like I already knew that I was going to do this. Our life is constantly telling us where we're going to be. And it's going to constantly be reminding us in different ways or facets. And it's just following that. And it did. It's ridiculous. Life is so crazy.
It's so weird how things will just come full circle and then you'll be like, oh, I knew about this and now we're doing it and now it's here. And I think that's one of the awesome things. Life always keeps you on your toes. It's never, you know, you're never prepared or never exactly know where you're headed. And then somehow it all ends up working out. I think one of the things that also is really exciting or that we're really, you know, collectively doing as a community with Covet Fashion, obviously, sustainability is really important to us. I think that with April, we have Earth Day coming up. I think it's more top of mind with everything that's been happening in the world. What does sustainable fashion, eco-friendly, what does that mean to you? Like why, obviously, you know, you kind of gave us some preface of how you got into the fashion industry, but what does sustainability really mean to you within the fashion space?
For me, it really means that we can always do better than what we're doing now. It's progress. It's not perfection. And I know it's so hard, especially because of the fashion industry and because it's what we've been doing for so long is what we've been doing for so long, you know? And it's so exciting for me to hear about, you know, the transparency that's happening now where other people are pressuring brands to be better, to do better. There's so much more technology involved. There's so much more accountability involved. And it's an amazing thing. And so I do believe that sustainability is important and possible once we try for it. And I think right now, even though it's not 100% right, that's going to take time. And so sustainability to me is what is sustainable for you? How can you always become better in your practices and how you create things and what you purchase? It's always striving to become better. And that's to me is what sustainability is. And if we're not willing to change, then we're just going to fall, I feel. And right now, the fashion industry is at a fall. But we're growing in different ways, right? And so it's, like I said, it's a crazy thing, but it's totally doable. It makes me so happy to see sustainability, being eco-friendly, really come into the forefront right now of fashion. And I'm so glad to be part of this movement right now. It's so exciting.
I love how you mentioned like progress over perfection. Like we're not going to solve all of these issues overnight, but I think there's changes that people can make as individual consumers to make an impact. So I love kind of really encapsulating that as progress over perfection. Speaking of excitement, can you tell us what it means to be a recipient of Covet's Threading Change Grant Initiative and what that means for you, what that means for Elle Raleigh? We would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Can you see me dancing? Can you guys see me? That was a trip. I am so like, I'm still so like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that just happened, you know? And I think as a solopreneur, I do everything on my own for Elle Raleigh. I not only make everything that's one of a kind and by hand, but I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing everything that you can. I did the website. It's ridiculous. This entrepreneur journey is insane. And so to be able to receive this grant from such an amazing company as yourselves, and to not only that, be part of this video game. I never thought that Elle Raleigh would be on a video game and people can wear Elle Raleigh and people can dress up Elle Raleigh. It's a trip. And so it really does not only confirm that like I am following my right path, but also that like I have support and that it's giving me time. Because as an entrepreneur, and especially in the fashion industry, and as especially like doing this all on my own, there's this pressure of like of being the next big thing, or you know, getting your marketing out there, or sell, profit. If you can't, then you can't sustain and your business is going to fail. And it was really hard for me because I'm just, you know, we're just watching social media. We're just watching everyone blow up. Like, it's just like, what the heck? Like, what's going on? And so to be able to receive this grant has really given me time. Not only time, but in a sort of way, peace. Because now it's like, okay, I have this money. Now I can literally pause right here, right now, and sit with you and be like, okay, with this money, where can Elle Raleigh grow? Do I need to invest this in marketing? Do I need to invest this in a team? I don't have to worry about right now crazy supply and demand because I can breathe and really think about how to grow. And as a sustainable business, we need to be able to pause and realize that what's going to sustain you when something like COVID happens? What's going to sustain you when, you know, that business deal that you had a great plan on didn't work? Like, so these foundations that I'm building right now because of the opportunity from being part of this amazing, you know, company has really given me the strength and purpose to really build this foundation that I was so in a rush to move forward to because I needed to upkeep with this game in the industry. And that's where the toxicity comes in, right? And that's why I'm also so blessed to be part of marine bio and not that there's anything wrong with it, but not be straight in fashion, because marine biology really keeps me grounded into why I decided to do this in the first place. Because we can get lost in the business. We can get lost in profit. And so I'm just so thankful that that you guys believed in me, and everyone who voted for Elle Raleigh believed in me, because I really, really want this to be a sustainable business in so many levels than just being eco-friendly. Like, in order to be sustainable, we have to understand what's strong to be a business, and you guys gave me that foundation. So thank you very, very much.
Yay! That's incredible. I'm so happy to hear that. I think that is so important and one of the many reasons why we wanted to do Threading Change. You kind of spoke on this, but I know I'm personally so excited to see your pieces in game in Covet. I can't wait to see how the community reacts and starts to style your pieces. Can you speak to maybe what you're most excited about with seeing your pieces in game?
Yeah, I am excited about people styling it as well. Like, I have my vision of like how I would wear this, right? But to actually bring it into a wider audience of like them seeing Elle Raleigh and being like, this would look good. I'm just so excited about the variability and the creativity, because not only is that going to get me excited, but it's going to also help me understand like how other people's minds work. Because right now I'm just stuck in mine, right? I think I know my audience. I think I know like how this should work. And so I think it's just going to reach so many different levels of where Elle Raleigh is going to be just based on watching how other people style it, you know? And not only that, like, I'm just excited, really, just to see it in a video game and see how it flows and see how people put earrings to it and dress it up, dress it down, and also get to know more about, you know, Elle Raleigh and what my values are. Because what you don't really see in the video game is how functional this outfit is. Like, something like this, you can wear back and you can wear it this way, you know? And you can't see that in the video game. And then there's pockets as well, all the patchwork that comes to it. So I'm just excited for the whole educational aspect of like what is this thing? And then to be like, oh, it's this thing, you know? Like, I just get really excited about just seeing it. It's nothing, like I said, I never knew that Elle would be in this really cool video game app, and that you can style it and people can choose. People can choose to wear Raleigh to win their challenge. And that to me is like super cool, and I'm just so thankful to be part of this amazing program. So thank you.
Awesome. I think that you kind of hit on kind of the special nature of the Covet community is there's no shortage of creativity. And I think that's a really exciting thing too, just as someone who now works on the Covet team. I am constantly re-inspired by the way people style things in games. So I think that's something really, I don't know, cool about seeing pieces that you maybe don't have in your closet already, but you can already start to visualize how people are really just incorporating them into their different looks. So I'm super excited to see what our community comes up with your pieces. Kind of taking a step back at Raleigh and kind of what you've been able to accomplish so far, do you have a favorite piece of clothing or collection that you have produced so far, or do you kind of love them all? I know that's a hard question to pick a favorite, but do you want to speak on a favorite that you have?
I love, honestly, all of them. And I think it's because I make every single one of them. And so each piece really represents that moment in time of, you know, my mood, my inspiration, what I'm listening to, what I'm watching. And I think it just reflects my growth. And so I get so excited when my customers will send me photos of them, because it's like reliving that stage of my life and how I've grown from it. And so I really honestly love all of them, and because I make every single one of them. So my heart and soul is in each piece. And so, yeah, it's so hard. I think as an artist, it's so hard to let go of your items. It's so hard. And so I have to constantly remind myself that, like, it's okay, Elle. Like, you can let it go and you can make another one. But it is so hard as an artist, because you really are pouring your heart and soul into each piece. And so I am just so thankful for, you know, my audience and my customers who continue to support me each and every time, because it's hard. It's hard to let go of your babies, for sure. So I love each and every one of them all the same.
No, I think especially because you are the one creating and touching every piece, I can imagine that the separation anxiety of like letting these go and find a new home is unique, especially to you and your brand. I know you mentioned music and what you're watching and listening to. Do you generally get inspiration from your life, past experiences, or where do you kind of draw your inspiration from for new pieces?
So I call it the database. And the database is a closet just full of t-shirts. And whenever I lack motivation, I literally will open up my database and I'm like, all right, speak to me. No, I don't say that. But I will definitely look through each item, like, well, the shirts, and I'll be like, okay, I like this color. Maybe this color is inspiring me. A lot of the times it's the graphics. So something about this graphic that just speaks to me, and I'm like, oh God, I got to do something from this one. Or it could just be, again, my mood. Like, I want a really cool, like, camo outfit right now, or I'm going out somewhere, which I'm not going out anywhere. But if I were to go out somewhere, like, what would I want to wear that is calling me? So literally, it starts off with this database, and keeping that database together is great. I'll have categories such as, like, you know, like artist or cities or social justice or women's rights, you know, things like that, like at that time I'm like collecting it and building it. So yeah, at that moment I have a group of shirts that I can create this amazing statement piece. So it's the database. I look through the database for inspiration.
I love that answer. again, you kind of touched on this, but I know a lot of us are still staying at home or, kind of trying to still socially distance. But for the times that are ahead that we are going out and getting dressed up, do you have any styling advice that you would give our fellow coveters of how your personal style or how you approach getting dressed?
This is what I would never say usually, but I think because of the situation of finally being able to go outside, the first thing that popped into my brain is just go wild. Right? Because we have been in sweats and shirts for a while. Be out loud, be bright, be obnoxious right now, because I feel like we need this. We need to be able to just have so much fun, skip. Do something. And usually that's not what I would say, because I'd be in normal times I'd be dress how you want to feel. Which I'll also add that. Dress how you want to feel. If you want to feel confident, you put that whatever on that makes you feel confident, Because style really, really reflects a lot about how you feel, I think, inside, And how you want to feel. It's kind of this magic, right? Where you can kind of fake yourself out by getting ready. Today, I did my hair. I never do my hair. I got some eyeliner on. I feel 10 times better. But if you were to ask me 30 minutes ago before I was even ready, I would have been I don't know, what is life right now? So I really do feel that what you wear really, really can change your mood inside, and it's fun. So just right now, as soon as we're able to run out, just have fun. Be wild, be crazy, be loud, be obnoxious, because there's going to be a moment where you're going to be over it, and then what? And then we're just back to normal, So as soon as we open up, guys, you be loud and bright and obnoxious in your fashion. Have fun.
Yes, I'm here for that. I'm ready for all the bold colors, although this is not reflecting that. Once it's open, I'm ready to go. I know. I know, because I'm home. I'm neutral. I'm blending into my surroundings. I just want to say thank you for our coveters who want to learn more about you. Where can they find you on social? Where can they find more about Elle Raleigh? Can you let our listeners know?
Yes, of course. You can find me on Instagram at Elle Raleigh. Or you can check out my website, which has so much more information about my mission, what I'm doing, and all the clothes that I made in my collections at www.ellraleigh.com. So Instagram and my website is probably the most popular. And then I also have Facebook. I also have Twitter. But you can also hit me up on email or my DMs and just say hi. Give me a nice wave. I also really like jokes. So if you guys have any good jokes for me, I like laughing. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And don't forget to find me when I'm on Covet, because I really, really am excited to see my clothes come into light.
Yes, you heard it here first. We can't wait to see your styles in game. So please make sure to check out Elle Raleigh in the upcoming style challenge and just in your daily styling efforts. Please make sure to share. But thank you so much, Elle, for taking the time to chat with us today. I'm so excited for the Covet community to get to know you better and Elle Raleigh. And until next time.
Until next time. Thank you.
Thank you.